Welcome back, everyone, to Auburn iRacing's coverage of the CIL Cup Series. It is so good to be back here for 2026 in the fall after a very successful 2026 spring season. For those of you who were not here for that, Auburn took home both the Drivers and the Constructors Championships, or the Team Championship, I should say, in my F1 mode there with Constructors Championships. But it was a very successful season. Reese Bayham took home the Drivers' Championship for the Tigers, and now is the first event of a new season here at the Duels at EchoPark. Should be a fun one tonight. As you're seeing the end of qualifying on your screen, here's number 82, Ryan Smith, one of our Auburn drivers in the race tonight. Ryan, one of 4 Auburn drivers currently in this race, along with number 11, Barrett Schluckabeer, number 844, Andrew McGill, and number 134, Logan Smith. So it's a good setup of Auburn drivers. Don't worry, your reigning champion Reese Bayham is racing in the series this year, but non-points paying race. So haven't seen Reese tonight, but do expect him for the full season once we get underway. All right, and that is a wrap on qualifying. So we're going to get a quick warm-up here before we head into duel number 1. Again, brand new format for this year. There's a new thing to the CIL Cup Series, this opening duel set of races. But those of you who are NASCAR Cup fans in real life will be familiar with the duel format. You see it every single year at Daytona. We've taken it to EchoPark this season. Arguably the raciest, or I don't think arguably, the raciest super speedway that the NASCAR Cup Series is playing home to at the moment. As we're looking at the lineup from duel number 1 here, you'll see it on your screen. You see cars lining up on pit road, getting ready for this one. As we'll look at Auburn's Barrett Schluckabeer here on the grid for duel number 1. Again, 2 duels. So your top 9 in each duel do have guaranteed transfer to the opening race of the season next week. So there is something on the line here, even though it is not points. You still do want to be running well in these duel races. As we're looking at Barrett here right now, looks to be the only Auburn driver in this first duel at the moment. I'll double check that, make sure that is correct for you guys. I know we do have one other Auburn driver further up the grid here. There's Ryan. You can see him on your screen right now. And Ryan is a pretty good driver at these super speedways, so as we get ready to go, do watch for that number 82 car. He's been successful at these types of tracks in the past. Here we go. And as the rest of the grid forms up, there's Logan Smith on the front row right now in that 134 car. And you'll see grid start to make its way off of pit road here slowly.
Hang on, we're not going green, not going green.
All right, here we are getting the entire grid formed up right now for you guys. This front row for duel number 1, it's going to be Jake Cummings, the 95, and Aaron Brown in the 16. Just behind them are Jonathan Jones in the 62, and then Tyler Skozen in the 28. Skozen, one of the best drivers from last year. And then in that third row there, that is the number 20 of Nicholas Johnson. I know no number on that red and white car, but that is the German there. Bottom row 3, Brennan Lyman will be outside of row 3 as we form up for this first duel here. All right, so it's going to be, once we've got this whole starting situation figured out, it does look like it's going to be no Auburn drivers in this first duel as we all get ready to go. Lights out on the pace car. And we'll get ready to get things underway here in the first duel at EchoPark. So for the moment, we'll see if we can figure out the scoring monitor on the side of your screen, but if not, don't worry, we'll be able to keep track of everything here in front of us as we'll take another pace lap here despite the lights being out on the pace car. All right, so had some brief confusion getting this thing started. We're currently working on getting some issues cleared with the setup of this dual format, but should be good to go pretty soon. But as you can see on your screen, this is your lineup for duel number 1. It'll be Jake Cummings, the 95, on pole for this first duel. It'll be Aaron Brown in the 16 to his outside. And again, as always, with these new formats, it does just take a minute sometimes to get everything figured out, make sure you're on the right track. But regardless, it's good to be back for CIL Cup racing. It's been a long break over the summer. Looking forward to getting cars on track and going, and the pace car is off. Looks like we are about ready to get underway. It's going to be Jake Cummings in the number 95 leading the field to green. Into the restart zone we go, and toward the finish line we go. It's going to be a good restart for Aaron Brown out of second position. 16 car looking to take the lead early as we head towards turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Brown and Cummings neck and neck with Skozen and Jones just behind. Most of these lines stay fairly low form through the first 3 or 4 rows right now. As gets a little bit out of shape down there on the bottom. It's going to be a little bit difficult to make these adjustments. Remember, everyone on fresh tires right now, but you got to imagine it's going to get a little bit worse as these tires start to wear. This Atlanta track, despite being a super speedway, can still be a bit tricky sometimes. As back to the start-finish line, it'll be Jake Cummings just edged out by Aaron Brown. 16 car leads lap 1 over the pole sitter and still formed up through these first 4 or 5 rows. Again, bottom line, Cummings, Jones, Johnson, your first 3. And the outside line, Brown, Skozen, and Brennan Lyman. Though Lyman poking his nose out of the outside falls back in line. 4th car in line on the outside there is the number 44 car. That is Manon Rahman, another Kentucky driver. Kentucky expanding their ranks for this year. More drivers than just James Bowman from last year. Got 3 more as we got a wreck in the back of the field right now, and they're wadding it up back there. Let's rewind and take a quick look at that. As you can see further back on your screen, there was an incident towards the back end of this pack. As we'll take a look and see what happened here towards the back end. A little bit of contact right there between the 73 and I believe that's the 009 of Andrew Voigt, yes. So contact between Wesley Shaw and Andrew Voigt there, and then Voigt trying to recover it, slides up the track, gets into the 925 of Jack Wilson. And as you can see, it was just on from there with Voigt and Wilson getting the worst of that incident here on lap number 5 of this first duel. So we'll jump back to the live action. You see Wilson trying to catch up to the pack there. Back to the front now. It's Aaron Brown and Tyler Skozen on the front row now. You wouldn't expect to see pit stops here. It is a dual race. I'd be surprised if anyone dives into the pits. Even though you don't want your tires to wear out too much here at EchoPark, it is definitely not a cheese grater of a track. It is a super speedway. You're not going to see guys making pit stops, at least I would expect. So we'll follow along through the pace laps here. But as far as the front of the field goes, fairly orderly start. They all kept it pretty much aligned. P's and Q's all in order. Just that back area of the pack where wasn't quite all together cleanly down into turn 1. As we follow in line behind the pace car here, just to catch you guys up on some of the stuff from last season as we join this. I know this is not a very Auburn-centric duel, so we'll update you on the guys that are in this race. We saw some good moments from the 78 of Brennan Lyman through the back half of last season, showcased some speed, was up near the front at Darlington at the end of last year with some strategy plays before falling back down a little bit towards the end of that race. Aaron Brown we saw with a couple standout performances towards the end of last season. That 16 car was pretty quick throughout the back half of CIL Cup Series. Tyler Skozen was one of your main championship protagonists for much of last season in that number 28 UNOH car. One of the quickest drivers of last season, was right up in the championship battle with Reese Baham and James Bowman towards the end of the year. Very consistent driver. Don't expect to see him make a lot of mistakes and has the pace to match as well. That number 95 Ford of Jake Cummings showed excellent speed through the start of the year, but then had a couple incidents at the race at Auto Club last year, just never quite seemed to make it through another race cleanly for the most part of the rest of the year, whether of his fault or not. Just some incidents through the rest of the year for Cummings most of last season. And then further through the pack there, you'll see that 248 car. That is Brian Ferwetta, another one of your championship protagonists from last season, was Reese Baham's closest adversary in the Alumni Championship through last season. Again, if you're unfamiliar with the CIL Cup Series, alumni will have 3 numbers on their car, whereas student drivers just 2. Working through 3 and 4 here again now. You do have lights off on the pace car. And back towards the restart zone we go. We're green again. Aaron Brown again gets a good jump out of that restart zone. Tyler Skozen to his outside is going to fall back. That 16 car looked like it was shot out of a cannon through the appropriately named, we'll say, EchoPark restart zone here at EchoPark Speedway. Side by side for second right now, Skozen and Cummings. Skozen with a great push from Brennan Lyman behind. And off of turn 2, they're going to be catching Brown at a rate of knots down the backstretch. There goes Skozen to the inside. Lyman gets a little loosey-goosey off a push from Jonathan Jones behind. We're 3 wide for 4th right now. Side by side for second. Jones at the bottom with a great run through the backstretch and down through 3 and 4. He's going to be on the back of Skozen as they work the front stretch towards turn number 1. You see Lyman still following behind this duo of Brown and Rahman. Back into the front of the field now. Tyler Skozen still leading this line. There's Rahman towards the outside, trying to go side by side with Jake Cummings. Cummings drifts up the track just a little bit. There you see Skozen still leading out front with Jones right behind, and Cummings is loose. Cummings makes contact with Rahman, and Cummings is losing that one down through the infield. No caution yet as Jake Cummings holds on to it, and he's going to keep going. We're not going to have a caution here at EchoPark. That's going to cost the 95 dearly, as you saw just a little bit of contact between him and the 44 off of turn 4, and Cummings got off the worst, and that one is now back to the front, side by side for second. It's Jacob Malone in the 45 on the outside of Jonathan Jones in that 62 car, and they've got Lyman right behind him as well. Top 5, you can pretty much throw a blanket over right now, with Skozen still leading single file out front, side by side for second, side by side for fourth as well. Brown and Lyman back there for fourth and fifth. Jones and Malone both looking for a way to get by Skozen. Skozen goes up and blocks the top, now back to the bottom, trying to get in front of Jonathan Jones, looking for the shortest way around this EchoPark Speedway. But again, Skozen, I think, is a very smart, cerebral driver. I would not expect him to make any huge mistakes here out front, although I always got to watch out for the commentator's curse when I do say something like that. As here comes the 45 of Jacob Malone, looking to the outside. Can he get to the quarter panel of that 28? Not quite. Skozen up to block late. Malone still right behind him. They ironed that out cleanly. Looked very close off the turn 2. There goes Brown to the inside. Malone to the outside. Skozen moves down to the bottom to cover off the 16 of Aaron Brown, who is stormed back towards the front here in that teal and silver machine right behind Tyler Skozen. On the outside, Jacob Malone has some help from Jonathan Jones. Those two formerly battling for second place, now trying to work together in this outside line in third and fifth at the moment. It's Brown and Lyman on the bottom, still Skozen out front trying to lead both of these lines. And you see, with these duels, it's a smaller pack behind it, smaller runs, so you have a little bit more time than normal to adjust to these runs. As you see, Skozen now pushed off the bottom. It's going to be Aaron Brown to the inside in that 16 level with 28 as they head towards the start-finish line. Skozen still leads that lap, but Brown with Lyman behind, trying to make a run on him. It's going to be Jacob Malone still. Looking to the middle now, gets bumped a little bit by Aaron Brown, now back to the outside. He's going to have to tuck in behind Skozen. Skozen, Malone, and then that's Jonathan Jones third in the outside line, and then Nicholas Johnson fourth as there goes Malone towards the outside. Quarter panel of the 28 car. Aaron Brown up to push the 45. They're going to try to hang Skozen out to dry here. It's Brown behind Malone. Now Malone gets touched. Skozen touches Malone off that second piece of contact. Skozen's going to hold on to it, though, and join right at the back of this pack again. Good save by the driver of the 28. You saw Jacob Malone bounce off Aaron Brown and then go back to the bottom as there's contact again. Jonathan Jones hooks the 16 into the 45, 45 up into the 925 into the outside wall, and we have a wreck on the back straightaway here at EchoPark. We'll rewind and take another look at that one on this back straightaway. Very difficult, these tight margins off of these corners, and as you see Aaron Brown right here, we'll take a look at it from the 16 car. You can see here, Aaron Brown just gets hooked by the 62 and then up into the 45 as a result. Jonathan Jones off of that corner just couldn't quite hold it on the bottom, slid up, and you had a wreck from there. You see Aaron Brown now rejoining in 14th at the moment here. It's been a rough day for that 925 of Jack Wilson. Been caught up in two big wrecks. Neither, I would say, were his own fault. Just wrong place, wrong time in both instances. As we'll work the caution laps right now. Again, still would not expect pit stops from these guys, but it is the German driver Nicholas Johnson currently in the lead. Again, no number on the car, but it is the number 20. But as we work these pace laps, you see some of your quick cars in this race falling down the order right now. You have the number 95 of Jake Cummings down in 8th place right now. Aaron Brown right behind him in 9th. You see him in the pits right now trying to repair that beat up number 16. Took a couple hard shots to different areas of that car. We had a few quick cars get bounced and banged around so far in this one, including Tyler Skozen, who currently sits 6th after a nice save through the infield on the front straightaway, just riding in the 6th position, trying to regather, regroup, head towards the front. Again, top 9 get those automatic transfers. So right now this is your 9th place car, Manon Rahman, the Kentucky driver. As we'll reform up double file to get this started. A couple new faces into the top 5. That second row, 999 on the bottom, is Colby Goldschmidt. The number 3 on the outside line is Grayson Upchurch. Upchurch, another Western Carolina University driver, same as Jake Cummings in the 95. So Catamount's looking to get a couple drivers up into this automatic transfer position. As we'll line them up double file and get ready to go here on turn number 4. Pace car going to peel off back down onto pit road as this will complete lap 17. We'll start lap number 18 just about halfway through this first duel here at EchoPark. Johnson gets going through the restart zone. He has Goldschmidt right on his bumper, but no real help behind the two of them. So if this outside line can organize, you see that train of 4 cars back there, if they can get linked up, that could be dangerous. You see those bottom 3 hooking together now. Wesley Shaw trying to come in and help on that bottom line. Lyman, that's a fairly late block. Skozen down to the middle underneath the number 3 of Grayson Upchurch. Lyman's going to go down to block the number 28, and Upchurch gets up and out of the groove. He's in the wall. That number 3 car going backward. Lyman into the lead with Skozen right on his bumper. Nicholas Johnson still leading this bottom line. K-State car back there a little bit high up the track, but recollects it as Skozen now in the outside line, looking for the lead with Jake Cummings right behind him. Bryn Lyman down on the bottom, but again, Lyman has more help. Got 4 cars right behind him, whereas his outside lane's trying to form up. You see Brian Ferretta, I believe, had some contact. He's trying to get down out of the way to pit road. Oh, number 20 loose into the corner, pushed a little bit. Nicholas Johnson, but he keeps it back down on that bottom line. Same thing with Colby Goldschmidt off the corner. These cars, I think, are not handling well for a lot of these guys at the front. You're seeing a lot more squirming into the corner, out of the corner than we have previously. Jake Cummings right on the back of the number 28 of Tyler Skozen as we head through 1 and 2. It's still Brennan Lyman out front trying to block Nicholas Johnson on the bottom. This bottom line well organized, about 7 cars in line down here, but Skozen and Cummings trying to make the top line work. Next car behind them is Andrew Voigt in that multicolored 009 car. Still Lyman leads the way side by side for second behind him. Johnson and Skozen battling for purchase for the runner-up spot right now as we work lap number 21 into turns 1 and 2. Lyman on the bottom, Skozen and Johnson side by side for second place. Skozen has a pretty decent run here on the outside. He's going to be able to hit the quarter panel and side draft that number 78 in the front stretch. Not quite. It's a good run on the bottom of the corner. For Lyman will edge him back ahead. He's going to go down to block Johnson. Johnson still trying to push him German into the back of the American with Colby Goldschmidt behind the two of them. Skozen right around the outside. Goldschmidt moves up about half the lane, but Skozen copes with it well. Wesley Shaw close to the quarter panel of Jake Cummings. They stay clean. Again, this outside line fading a little bit. I think just the manpower on this bottom line, the horsepower, I should say. 5 or 6 cars all fairly connected together on this bottom line well. Now back to Aaron Brown, who's starting to edge his way into this picture again. As a little bit of an issue for Upchurch there down in the bottom. That'll put Brown into the middle, into turn number 1 as the leaders continue on this bottom line. See 3 by 3 towards the back of the pack as some of the faster cars from earlier in this race trying to work their way back forward. It's still Skozen leading the outside line, but he's fallen back. He's side by side with Colby Goldschmidt now, fighting for 3rd and 4th. Goldschmidt pushes up the track. Skozen adjusts. Cummings right to the back of that number 28 UNOH car. They've got Aaron Brown behind him. They've got the number 45, Jacob Malone, behind him as well. Those are 4 of the quickest cars in this race, all lined up on the outside line. I think if they can continue to work together, they could work their way towards the front. You're seeing it right now. Tyler Skozen looking for the position on Nicholas Johnson. He's got Jake Cummings right behind him. Cummings with Brown right behind him. And then it's Malone, the 4th car in this outside line. They're pushing for the lead. Skozen to the outside of Lyman. He's still got Cummings right on his bumper. Can Johnson get back to Lyman, or will Cummings shove Skozen to the point here at EchoPark over the line? And it's Tyler Skozen leading that lap over the number 78. 28 back to the front after skidding through the infield just a few laps ago. Lap 25 now. It's still side by side for the first 4 or 5 rows here at EchoPark. Skozen might be clear to the front now, though, and he is. Number 28 clear. Cummings clear as well. Slides out almost a wreck behind him with Nicholas Johnson and Aaron Brown. They keep it straightened out as we'll look back to the front. And Jake Cummings right behind Tyler Skozen. That WCU car closing in on the number 28 in the battle for the lead. You see Aaron Brown and Wesley Shaw, your first side-by-side battle. That's for 6th and 7th. Brown will tuck in behind the number 73 for now. We've got single file now through the first 8 or 9 positions in this field. This duel calming down a little bit as we go under 10 laps to go. I think everyone looking to maybe find a holding pattern here, get reset up for this final dash towards the finish. We've had a couple incidents. I think everyone just looking to make it clean and stay in one of these 9 automatic transfer spots. As through 1 and 2, it's still mostly single file. You see side by side, maybe 3 wide there. We'll take a look back at the 73 of Wesley Shaw. That is 3 wide. It's Aaron Brown to his inside. It's Jacob Malone backing off on the outside, almost 3 wide there, but the 45 did not have the run down the back straightaway, and now it's Aaron Brown to the inside of the 73 of Wesley Shaw. Those two still side by side. Brown trying to muscle that position away from the 73, and he will do so. Aaron Brown up into 6th place in that number 16 car. 141 of Josh Camphor running well. As you see Andrew Voigt behind, the 009 with an issue behind, spins out. He's into the inside wall, spins it again, locks it up down the backstretch. No caution yet. Still no caution. Looks like we aren't getting one for that instance. They're going to say Voigt can get it straightened out and figure it out, as Skozen still leading the way here on this bottom line. He has Cummings behind him, then Lyman, then Johnson, then Goldschmidt, your top 5. Brown, Bolin, Upchurch, Shaw, Rahman, the end of your top 10. That 141 of Josh Camphor is a lap down, so despite being behind Aaron Brown, that is not for position. That 141 with the bright green wheels as Jake Cummings looking to the outside of Tyler Skozen, now going to tuck back in, just going up to get a little bit of clean air. Again, this next-gen car here at EchoPark, it really needs that clean air. You handle a lot worse in the dirty air than you do when you're all out alone. As there goes Aaron Brown to the outside, number 16 looking for a move in that outside lane. He's side by side with Nicholas Johnson. He's got the lap car of Camphor right behind him, and Upchurch 3rd in line at the top. Can these 3 make anything happen? Still side by side with Nicholas Johnson is Aaron Brown. He's going to try to get on the side drift. Oh, that's a tight hole, but he fits into it in front of Colby Goldschmidt. He's going to be right behind Nicholas Johnson. Johnson now into the 2nd lane. Can he get back down in front of Aaron Brown? Yes, he does. So they've all straightened it out there. Looked quite touch and go. There was a big snap of loose for Aaron Brown off turn 2, but he gets back down in front of Colby Goldschmidt, who has been 3 and 4. Again, working lap 31 here. Brown to the outside now, trying to make a move on Nicholas Johnson. Tucking in right on the back of that 20 car. Now looking to the outside again. just doesn't have help as he might now from in front. Brennan Lyman to the outside, looking for a move on Jake Cummings. Lyman in third, trying to get to the quarter panel of that number 95 Western Carolina mobile. Still no help in front of Lyman. Now Cummings and Skozen move up to cover 78. As they do side by side for third and then side by side for fifth behind him with Aaron Brown and Colby Goldschmidt. That's close between Lyman and Cummings. Lyman looking for space on the outside. Not quite there. Cummings going to stay in to block that. They're still right on each other. Skozen still leads, but it's a mess behind him. 3 wide for third. That's not going to work out as Aaron Brown gets into a couple other guys there. Jake Cummings in it as well. And we have no caution.
The yellow flag is out.
And now we do here at EchoPark. Is just a little bit too much into one there, I think. As we'll ride on board with Aaron Brown and take a look at that one. You see the 16 into 1 and 2 here, looking for space in between, gets tagged by Goldschmidt, then just spins it up. Cummings looped it on his own in front, so that was an unrelated incident, but Aaron Brown getting tagged by the 999 and then up into a couple of other cars, and that causes a big wreck here with just a couple laps to go in this first duel at EchoPark. So we'll jump back to the live action here. One car not involved in that is the 28 of Tyler Skozen, who now sits pretty happily, you would think, up in P1. As we'll take a look at Skozen leading this field right now. He has the 44 behind him, Manan Rahman in second place, and then it's Wesley Shaw and Colby Goldschmidt third and fourth at the moment. Brian Ferwetta 248, you assume, is the free pass car here. So we'll stay single file, getting ready for this last restart. Should be a NASCAR overtime style finish, or is, I like to say, green-white checkered, as it was originally called. But Skozen leads. Rahman in second, Wesley Shaw third. Colby Goldschmidt, despite the incident, stays out, is fourth. Jake Cummings fifth. Brennan Lyman sixth. Zach Boland currently in seventh. Aaron Brown 8th, Nicholas Johnson currently holding on to that last free transfer spot in 9th place. We see this is not a big field here at the front, as Lyman in 6th is pretty much the end of the line right now. You see back here, he's only got the lap car of Josh Camphor behind him. So here we see the 84 of Zach Boland trying to catch up to the back of this field. Currently runs in 7th. But up front, getting ready for this final restart. Should be coming to double file this time. Yep, it'll be Rahman to the outside. Wesley Shaw, we've seen have some issues on a couple restarts, getting up and pushing right on the back of the car in front of him. If I were Skozen, I'd almost be worried about him over-adjusting and slamming into the back of me through the restart zone in an effort to make something happen here, but we will see. As there'll be lights out on the pace car. It'll be one green-white checkered attempt, so if we don't get it done this time, there are no do-overs. You got what you got here on this final restart. As you see the 84 of Zach Boland dropping back on the inside back there. So it is a UNOH versus Kentucky here on this front row. And then Texas A&M Texarkana for Wesley Shaw in third. And for Colby Goldschmidt in fourth, it is Barton College on that number 999 car. And then the rest of your top 6 up here in contention. Jake Cummings of the Western Carolina Catamounts in 6th, and then your 5th place driver, Brennan Lyman, racing for Oklahoma Panhandle State University. So of your real big players, I would say left in this one, it probably is one of those 6. And still 2-lap shootout. It's hard to build up and get enough of a run to really make something happen if you're any further back than I would say 6th anyway. So these first 3 rows, getting ready to go for it. Transfer spots on the line, but more importantly, how about just some fun on the line for winning the first race this season, even if it's not points paying. Skozen goes through the restart zone. It's happened again. Shaw nowhere near the back of the 28, but crucially for Skozen, good enough launch to be in front of Rahman. So 28, 44, 999 into 1 and 2. Those are your top 3. Shaw settles back into 4th. Ferretta's in the wall behind. See if they throw a caution for it. We'll stay with the leaders. Skozen still defending. It's a good run from behind for Rahman. No wreck, no caution behind. Rahman to the outside. Goldschmidt going to stay down on the bottom and push Skozen. Coming back to the white flag. They're side by side for second. This is what Skozen wants to see. He can pick and choose. He can block his lane. But right now, he's just going to block that 999 as the 44 of Rahman has no help on the outside. 1 to go here at EchoPark. It's Tyler Skozen through 1 and 2. He's got Colby Goldschmidt behind him. Wesley Shaw in 3rd. Can Shaw and Goldschmidt build a run down the backstretch? Shaw's going to be on the inside. They're not working together. They're not working together. That might have given Skozen the race win here in this duel. Goldschmidt trying to close back to him. They're side by side for 3rd behind Rahman and Shaw. Goldschmidt closing in on Skozen out of turn 4. 28 still clear. No challenge from the 999. Tyler Skozen starts the season off with a win in your first duel here at EchoPark Speedway. It'll be Skozen 1, Goldschmidt 2, Rahman, Shaw, Lyman, Bolin, Brown, Ferretta, and Nicholas Johnson, your automatic transfers from duel number 1. That's your top 9 from duel 1. Congratulations to Tyler Skozen. Big win there for the number 28, one of your championship protagonists from last season, starting off with a bang in this duel under the lights at EchoPark as we'll get ready for duel number 2. And for those of you who are Auburn iRacing fans, this is the one to watch. We got all 4 of the boys in this one. Number 11, Barrett Schluckabeer. Number 82, Ryan Smith. Number 134, Logan Smith. And number 844, Andrew McGill will all be in this second duel. As if you guys will bear with me for just a moment, you're going to have to create a new session here for the second duel. So we're going to hop out and we'll be right back. The stream will stay up because I don't want any of you guys to miss this going forward, but we'll stay right here. Plus side is, all you guys get a fun little look in to what this looks like when we have to change over. So for all you guys that are tuned in, thank you for being tuned in. Really appreciate it. But as we get ready to get everything moved over, I am extremely excited for this second duel. It'll be great to see these Auburn iRacing drivers back on track again. It's been a while. Obviously, we don't have our reigning champion with us tonight for Reese Bayham, but we still got quite a lot of Auburn iRacing to look forward to, and 3 of these 4 drivers were responsible for the team championship secured for Auburn iRacing in the spring in McGill, Smith, and Smith. Maybe should preface with the first names there, Logan and Ryan. As we'll hop back in to this second session for the second duel. So again, I know you guys watching at home have a black screen on your screen right now. Don't worry, we'll be back in just a couple moments, just waiting for the session to boot up properly. And then we'll be right back in there for duel number 2. Alright, and again, just bear with the screen right now as we get everything set back up here. Alright. So we're just waiting a couple moments for this second session to be up and ready to go. Again, I appreciate all y'all bearing with us. Again, new formats, these things happen as we're getting everything set. Alright. Should be working correctly this time once we get in. Again, I appreciate the patience from all of you guys watching at home here. Alright. Well, that a bit of an untimely cut there. Barrett, if you're watching this back, I apologize. But we've made it into the second session here. All 4 Auburn drivers will be in the second heat. It's number 11 there, Barrett Schluckabeer, one of our rookies for this season. And for those of you who watched last season, we've also got some other familiar drivers back. Here's Logan Smith. Logan, a winner last year at Charlotte, did the old Ross Chastain challenge from back to first. Don't ask him why he started last. Nothing happened. It wasn't important. As Logan currently right now third on the board in this quick little warm-up session. But you'll notice also on the board here the number 18 of James Bowman. Bowman, another one of your championship protagonists from last season. A very quick driver, should be expected to be right up near the front. And this is probably a race where you'll recognize a few more of the names from last year. We've got Edward Sanchez in here, Alex Ortega, Matt Gagnon was up near the front quite a bit last year as well towards the end of the season. But also some newcomers as we get ready to set this grid for duel number 2. Again, 35 laps here at EchoPark should be a fun one, as there you see all 4 Auburn cars in the grid. There's Logan, starting 6th. And right behind Logan, you can see Ryan, also Smith, no relation, starting 7th, right behind his teammate. Ryan, again, a pretty good super speedway racer, so keep an eye on that 82 tonight. If you can keep everything pointed in the right direction, should be a decent result for Ryan tonight. Then starting in 10th is the 844 of Andrew McGill. Again, new number this year for Andrew. Drove the 034 last season, and this year in the 844 in 10th place. And then starting 13th is the number 11 of Barrett Schluckabeer down at the back of this grid. So should be a fun race for sure as we get ready to get going. We'll hop back up with Logan here in 6th place as we head off pit road. Your starting lineup for this one, it'll be Alex Ortega on pole in the number 32 car. That University of Missouri Kansas City car. Saw it up near the front a lot last season. And mentioned some of the new drivers for Kentucky this year. One of them is that 55 of Landon Brown, rolling off 3rd. So James Bowman with a rear gunner this time in this super speedway race. That was one thing that caught him out a little bit last year. If you remember the Atlanta race in the spring, Bowman didn't always have a ton of help in these super speedway format races. So you got to wonder now, with that second UK car right behind him there on the inside line, if maybe that number 18 will be a little bit more fortunate this time around, as now we've got all the grid forming up together. As I believe our original starting lineup was a bit incorrect there on the grid, so we'll take a look as all these guys form around. See that 844 of Andrew McGill looks to be further forward now on the pace laps than he was sitting on pit road. There's Logan to the inside. Bowman will drop back. Oh, and yes, obviously, this is because of the newly created session, we've still got to go by the old qualifying order. So everyone gridded, and then we're setting up via the old qualifying order. So it will be more Auburn drivers towards the front, as you see on your screen. It'll be Logan Smith on pole on the bottom. There you see Logan. Then Andrew McGill will roll off 3rd. You'll have Ryan Smith rolling off 4th, 2nd in the outside line. I will say this is a bit more what I expected from these Auburn drivers at the Super Speedway. If you'll remember last spring, the race here at EchoPark, it was a lot of an Auburn train through much of that race last year. Those 4 cars on the bottom making a lot of steam. As you see, Barrett Schluckabeer a bit further back there, currently 6th in the outside line. That would mean he lines up 12th. We'll see if that's where he stays once we all get gridded and set up, as Schluckabeer will now move down to the inside and back to the outside. Just waiting on everyone to finish getting formed up here before we get underway. I'd expect the pace car to stay out here for one more lap. As you see, the bottom line is still fairly disjointed towards the rear. And pace car will stay out here as we finish forming up the grid. It's a Lovely looking livery this year on these Auburn cars. You'll notice a bit of a tiger stripe pattern. For the alumni, it's on the orange of the car, that main orange body, and for our student drivers, Barrett and Ryan, it is on the blue area of the car, the main body of the car. And the eagle eye view will notice that Logan Smith has graduated since last time you saw him race in the CIL Cup Series. So congratulations to Logan on that, moving from a student driver to an alumni driver. Gets that triple-digit number, currently in the 134, and the inverted livery as well, with the orange main base color. So Barrett Schluckabeer found his place in the starting order here. Looks to be rolling off 10th. So Auburn rolling off 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 10th. Good set of starting spots for these Auburn drivers as we get ready to go here at EchoPark. Should be a fun duel. We got 35 laps to decide who gets the guaranteed transfer spots in for next week's season opener. Again, no points pegged today. Still not going green this time around. Looks like we'll have one more lap. I would expect this is to clear the black flag since we're reshuffling the starting order for everyone, just making sure iRacing does not hold that starting order against anyone. But again, I'd expect there's at least a little bit of nerves in the cockpits of these cars. The good news is, not a points-paying race, not as much pressure, but just the whole idea of getting back into the seat and getting going again for the first time in a while. It's been a minute for a lot of these guys. You've been looking forward to the season starting again, and you're starting up with what can be a very chaotic event at a plate track, so should be fun. So we're running through the starting grid as we move around. It's Logan Smith on pole, as we mentioned. Alex Ortega to his outside. 3rd and 4th is Andrew McGill and Ryan Smith. And then row number 3, it's the 40 of Matt Gagnon, and that's the 61 of Nate Smith in a beautiful Mississippi State livery. I've always been a big fan of Mississippi State's colors. I like that maroon and white. 61 car looking good up there with their baseball logo too on the hood. Very good looking logo. Then in row 4 behind those guys, it is the number 12 of Brock Brummeyer, Arizona State driver, and then James Bowman to his outside. Row 5 is the number 8 of Brad Kane with Auburn's own Barrett Schluckabeer to his outside. And then the number 55 of Landon Brown will be inside row 6 with the number 5 of Timothy Popwell of Southern Miss behind him. And then 15 and 14, Davis and Deo Gracias will be the rear end of this field. This will go back up to the front, get ready to get underway. Logan Smith going to lead him to green. Last year he started the season off by starting in the back and winning. Can he start with a win from pole this season in the CIL Cup Series? Let's find out. Let's get going here at EchoPark. They address themselves to the restart zone, and we are underway. Logan goes late in the zone. He's going to get to the line first. Good push from Andrew McGill behind him. You'd expect some coordination there between the teammates, and they are off and away. Logan clear out front with Andrew pushing him. Nate Smith already way up high. Alex Ortega cuts down and slots in line there in 3rd behind Andrew and Logan. The Auburn duo still connected out front and connected well, trying to run away from the rest of this pack. I'd be very impressed if they can do that here at EchoPark. Highly unlikely, but you can defend well if you have two guys working together here up at the front. Ortega immediately going to go to the outside, though. The rest of this field does not want an Auburn train like we saw in the spring here at EchoPark, though Gagnon's going to stay right behind Andrew McGill in 3rd place, locked to the rear bumper of that 844. McGill stays right on Logan. They're going to be nose to tail out of turn 2, still leading this field. You see the other Auburn duo of Ryan Smith and Barrett Schluckabeer. They're outside nose to tail, a bit further down the pack, but it is still Auburn 1, Auburn 2. Schluckabeer a bit high, but keeps it out of the wall in the back there. Logan going to lead the field back to the line again as we hit lap 3. Still nose to tail, and Gagnon with them. Those three starting to separate from the pack a little bit. If they can do that, I know you'll probably get a caution. This will probably not be all clear to the end by any means, knowing CIL Super Speedway Racing, but despite that, if you can get a little bit of a breakaway going, I think it's really going to benefit you and everyone you're with. As Alex Ortega now back to the outside again, not content to push from that 4th position. Arizona State driver right behind him in Brummeyer. And he's going to look to the inside. Brummeyer trying to go through on Ortega. And the Sun Devil goes into 4th. Brock Brummeyer up another position as Ortega now having to defend from Brad Kane behind. As out front, it is still Logan and Andrew hooked together and hooked together well, leading this field. Back to start-finish line again. We can complete lap number 4. Again, these dual races are quick, so track position is key. I know we saw a few guys make it from the back up to the front in our first dual race, but they always say as well in NASCAR, one of your duels is incredibly chaotic and one of your duels is a bit of a high-speed procession. And right now that looks to maybe be the case in this series as well. You had your wild and crazy duel number 1, 2, and 3 wide most of the race, whereas so far in this second duel, everyone looks to be a lot better behaved, mostly a long line of cars stringing out the full length of this field. You see no side-by-side action right now on your screen, and I think that's how they all want it right now. Matt Gagnon getting a little bit of clean air to the outside of Andrew McGill, tucks back in line. I think all these guys are thinking, hey, no need to destroy the car in the first 10 laps of this duel. It's only a 35-lap race anyways. If I'm done on lap 10, I'm not much good to anyone anymore. As Ortega, I would say, has been the one exception to that so far. So now there's contact. Ryan Smith into the back of the number 8 in front of him. Well, that was well held by Brad Kane. You saw Ryan get just into the back of the number 8 through 1 and 2, and Kane held on to it extremely well. Good save by the driver number 8, that Toledo driver there right in front of Ryan. As we'll cut back up to the front of the field. Logan and Andrew still 1-2. They've got Gagnon right behind them. But still, they're staying hooked together so well, and this is the benefit of having, I think, 4 drivers that you can all practice with before these sessions, as that's close from Gagnon in the back of McGill. McGill trying to hold on to it. It swerves a bit, but he catches it. But as I was saying, your practice sessions that you get with this AU iRacing team, the ability to work in the draft around other cars, work in dirty air, work on old tires, kind of know what to expect. I think it's a huge benefit for these Auburn drivers heading into this race today. Just that little bit more experience than maybe some of the other drivers in this field. As that's a bump from Ortega to the back of McGill. McGill now moves forward towards Logan at the front of this field. Logan still locked in from pole as it's composed all day long so far, heading up to start lap 10. As down into 1 and 2 now. Logan still clear. They'll have McGill right on the back from down the back stretch as Ortega makes that move for 3rd. Gagnon tucks back in 4th place, right behind the 32. Those two, I think, they both really want to be in 3rd right now. They've swapped and changed a bit. Neither of them seem content to be too complacent right now. You see Ryan Smith's made his way back up a little bit further. Ryan currently running 7th. Barrett's down in 14th right now, but still is on the back of this long line. You see that number 11 at the tail end of the field there, but Andrew and Logan still leading the way. Logan out front, Andrew P2, as they have been. Out of 3 and 4 now. Ortega thinking about a move to the outside, seeing if Gagnon will go with him. Not quite. Ortega looking for the crossover on McGill. He gets into the left rear, but they stay straight. McGill going to be up in the 2nd lane, cuts back down. Well held by everyone there. That contact might not look like much, but believe me, you get tagged in the left rear like that, it is hard to hold on to, as Ortega and Gagnon and McGill all really close together down that back straightaway, hooked tight into turn number 3. Gagnon will go a little wide. McGill drifts up off the bottom line in the middle of the corner, trying to move back towards Logan out front. Ortega looking for the crossover move again. And this time crosses it over a 2nd time back to the outside, and he'll hang right in behind McGill. Most of this field still single file right now. As you see Barrett Schluckebeer making a move in the rear of the pack. He'll tuck in behind the 26 of Edward Sanchez at the rear up into 13th place. Ortega this time, no crossover down the front straight, but he does it late. Still not enough to get his nose in there. McGill back down to the bottom. This top four definitely looks to all be capable of winning this race. It's just a matter of who can get someone to work with them. You'd expect the two Auburn guys to stay locked together here, especially with no points on the line. No need to do anything crazy here out front at the moment. And they're just protecting well right now. That is the lap car of Maverick Davis out in front of the pack. As Logan will look to the outside. I think that caught McGill out a little bit, just right on the bottom, stuck behind the lap car now. Going to get picked. Unfortunate situation is Ortega now into the back of Logan. Down to the 3. Ortega's going down to the bottom. He's to the inside of Logan. He's going to drift up. Logan up towards the top, keeps it out of the wall. But again, both cars washing up a little bit through that 3 and 4. And Logan now right on the back of Alex Ortega. And there's McGill still pushing that number 14 of Maverick Davis. You got to imagine some frustration in the lap car there. Is Davis going to go to the outside and try to overtake and get his lap back? But while this is happening, Ryan Smith has made his way up to 4th. We got a 3-car Auburn train on the bottom now behind the leader. It is Ortega in the lead. Then Logan, as we got number 8 up into the wall. That's Brad Kane. Looks to hold on to it. No yellow. We all keep going in the correct direction as Kane drops back a little bit. You see, contact Ortega in the lap car. Ortega gets knocked down into Logan Smith. Contact between Maverick Davis and Alex Ortega. And man, story of Logan Smith's season last year continues into this year. Wrong place, wrong time for the driver of that number 134 Next Gen Chevrolet, as we'll take another look at that here from Logan. As you can see, we'll hop into the chase cam here for Logan, and you can just tell sometimes these things aren't going to go well. As you can see, that number 15 of Maverick Davis on the outside, there's Ortega in the middle, and they come together. Ortega loses it back at the track, then goes down and just kills that right side of Logan Smith. 32 and 134, both out. Good avoidance there by Barrett to get through that cleanly, but yeah, Logan Smith, story of his season towards the end last year, caught up in someone else's mess. It happens to him again here at the Duel at EchoPark. But that leaves us with Matt Gagnon in the lead. Andrew McGill is in second right now. And then we got Ryan Smith in third. So Auburn running 2-3 right now. Barrett's made it into the top 10 in that number 11 machine. Edward Sanchez, James Bowman, and Landon Brown will all hit pit road. So Edward Sanchez and the Kentucky drivers into the pits. Imagine maybe some damage from them getting all bumping into each other trying to get by that wreck. Maybe you just want new tires. You are almost 20 laps into this race. If you're not running up near the front, I don't hate the call at all. Come get new tires, maybe get a little bit better handling towards the end of this one. But we'll see if this duo of Andrew and Ryan can make something happen over the last 15 or so laps. But as these two stay together, just, you gotta imagine frustration for Logan Smith, who's now a lap down. Another caution would likely give him the free pass, as he's still in the pits here. Hoping it's not terminal damage for that 134, which did take a hard lick into the outside wall and then off the 32 of Alex Ortega. You see Ortega at the front of the pits here also taking time to get repairs. But as we jump back up towards the front of the field, finishing up at lap 19, so 16 to go here in this second duel race. Mentioned earlier, usually you get one calm duel and one crazy duel. Well, I wouldn't say this one's been calm by any means, especially after the last incident, but it's certainly been at least a little bit more muted than your first duel. Hopefully we can keep the wrecks to a minimum and finish this one off clean, try to get one of these Auburn drivers a win here in this season opener. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll be coming back to green this time. Logan's still 1 lap down at the moment. He's at 134. I do believe Logan might be done, as that car's still sitting in the pits. Highly unfortunate for the driver who had led almost every lap of this race up to that point. And, I mean, we'll call it like it is, got Kevin LePaged, essentially, by the lap car of Maverick Davis, who decided to race for the lead for some reason. But is what it is. Those things happen. And we'll line it up, get ready to re-rack and try again here at the restart zone. It'll be Gagnon from Andrew McGill, then Ryan Smith in third, Brock Brummeyer in fourth, and then Popwell and Schluckabeer, your row number 3. First car on fresh tires is the 55 of Landon Brown in 7th. Back into the restart zone, and we are back underway at EchoPark. Gagnon gets out of the restart zone fairly well. He's got Ryan Smith behind him. I'd be willing to bet Ryan is not going to push super hard, try to get linked up with Andrew here if he can. Right now they're still side by side. They've got Barrett right behind him, so third Auburn car entering the fray. Gagnon still out front. Ryan on the bottom getting shoved by Brummeyer down the back straightaway. Schluckabeer and McGill have connected up at the top. Gagnon will go down to the bottom. That's a mistake. Leaves it open for Andrew McGill, although Schluckabeer drifts up a little bit. Gagnon's not going to have quite the help he wanted there, I don't think, as he's got Ryan Smith right on his back bumper. McGill to the outside. McGill and Ryan touch. Good save there by Andrews. Now Andrews got the 2 Kentucky drivers behind him. Barrett gets down. Barrett gets into the 14. I believe that's an incident behind. Yes, it is. As Schluckabeer gets down, there's contact there between him and it was a 15 actually of Maverick Davis that Schluckabeer got into. No caution yet for this incident. As we'll jump back to the front as everyone keeps it going. Here comes Davis again towards the front. So good save by him. So it looked like pretty hard contact between him and Schluckabeer there a moment ago. Well held from the driver of the 15 as McGill side by side with Gagnon for the lead. Smith drifts up off the bottom just a little bit. You got to wonder how these Auburn guys are going to try to get connected. Not running the same line contact between Brummeyer and Ortega back there, but they both keep it ironed out. Now the 55 of Landon Brown looking to the outside of McGill. He's got help from James Bowman, his teammate behind him. Bowman to the outside of McGill now, trying to be Kentucky 1-2 to the lead here. Brown and Bowman on the outside. Bowman working the top, trying to get around McGill. He's got Ortega right behind him. That top 3 is hooked up quite well together. And McGill is going to be in front of Gagnon. He's going to block well. Ryan Smith to the outside now as this entire top line is getting around. And McGill is going to clear that 15 of Maverick Davis. I will say by racing against the leaders as hard as he did, Davis did get his lap back and so is on the lead lap now as that's tight between McGill and Ortega to the bottom. Ortega comes back down, then drifts high. McGill gets by him into third. He's got Gagnon right behind him. Now Gagnon looking to the outside of that 844. McGill gets back in front of him. A little bit of contact there maybe. McGill to the bottom. He's going to push Landon Brown, shove James Bowman to the outside. Landon Brown going to drift up to go with his teammate. McGill now got the 15 of Maverick Davis behind him. A little bit of a push there with the quad oval. McGill gets a little loose. Going to stay down on the bottom. Still got that 15 car right behind him. Landon Brown out front, trying to block 2 lanes at once. He's got McGill behind him on the bottom and his teammate James Bowman behind him on the top. He's going to stay in front of McGill for now. Bowman's going to move up on the outside and try to get by that 55. Oh, Bowman, very twitchy off the front bumper of Gagnon, but keeps it straight somehow. Great save by James Bowman in the middle of 3 and 4 right there. McGill still on the bottom, pushing Bowman's teammate Landon Brown. Brown did lead that lap, as now Bowman is on the outside, looking for the lead against his teammate in the 55. It's 55 and 844 and 15 on the bottom, although they're not hooked up really well. The push is not coming at opportune times, and that outside line is going to fly forward. It's Bowman to the lead, Gagnon into second, and now McGill and Ryan Smith back fighting just at the back end of the top 5 here, although only an 8-car pack. So every car you see on your screen now would get one of those free transfer spots in this duel, but I know they all would like to win this duel as much as it is just for a guaranteed starting spot in the season opener next week. You ask Ryan Preece how much a preseason win can mean sometimes. I know each one of these guys would like to win this one as McGill pops out a line there. He's going to let the 15 go, and then Ortega is going to get by him as well. And the number 12 of Brummeyer as the Auburn duo will look to link up here at the back of this lead pack. You see Barrett Schluckabier falling back towards them on the outside lane in that number 11 car, as we'll join up at the front here. It's still James Bowman from Matt Gagnon side by side for third. Landon Brown and Maverick Davis fighting each other. Ortega pushing Brown through the quad oval right now. Brown still tucked up right behind Matt Gagnon. Front four all in a tight line there. Maverick Davis gets down to block in front of Brummeyer in that Arizona State Sun Devil machine. So Kentucky now running 1-3 at the moment, with Matt Gagnon making a sandwich in the middle of those two blue Kentucky machines there. Out of turn 4, Bowman leads again. On to lap 31 now, just 5 laps to go in this second duel of the day. Your last transfer spot right now is held by the number 5 of Timothy Popwell, a Southern Miss driver, because that's a big bit of contact from Ortega to the back of Landon Brown. Maverick Davis now looking for a move on the outside. That 15 car into the second lane, trying to make a move for fourth. Stays side by side now at the quarter. Landon Brown still clear into third, but behind him, it's a battle between Ortega and Maverick Davis for fourth place at the moment. And they've got the Sun Devil, Brock Brummeyer, right behind the two of them. And then the Auburn duo of McGill and Ryan Smith. Again, Schluckabier a lap down with those two guys in front of him. Bowman still leading from Gagnon, so we still have this battle for fourth. Ooh, bit of contact there between Ortega and Davis. Davis cuts right back down in front of Brummeyer. Very tight quarters there between the 15 and the 12 as the Auburn duo is going to go to the outside of the Arizona State man, but just 3 laps to go. We'll focus on your leader here. It's James Bowman. Well, your first duel was won by Tyler Skozen, one of your championship protagonists from last year. James Bowman was another one to finish in the top 3 of the final championship standings at the end of last season. And now that number 18 car is looking to ride its way to a win in the second duel to open the season. He's got a teammate in third. He's got Matt Gagnon in second. And the issue for Matt Gagnon is if he pulls out a line, he knows the 55 isn't going with him. So I would bet he's almost content to run for second unless he gets some kind of absolutely massive run and he can hope Ortega will go with him. But right now, it looks to be Bowman, Gagnon, Brown, Ortega, Davis headed towards the finish right now. That's a big push from Gagnon. He's going to have space to the inside. Good move by the number 40. He's the inside of James Bowman. White flag here at the duel. Second duel. Oh, we got contact between Landon Brown and Ortega behind. Maverick Davis spins it right in front of Andrew McGill. Gagnon's loose on the bottom. James Bowman on the outside. He's got Landon Brown behind him. The 18 is free out front. There's contact. That is Ryan Smith and Matt Gagnon. They get together. Smith gets down and he gets into Barrett Schluckabier behind. These 3 are racing for the win off of turn 4 here at the second duel at EchoPark. It's going to be James Bowman from his teammate Landon Brown. Alex Ortega brings it home third. A chaotic last lap, but at the end of the day, it is all Kentucky here in duel number 2. Bowman from Brown as the Wildcats sweep the top 2 here in duel number 2. Congratulations to James Bowman on his duel win. So 2 of your championship protagonists from last year end up with duel wins here at the start of the CIL Cup season. We'll rewind a bit so you guys can take a look at what happened with your Auburn drivers on that last lap there. As here's Andrew first. You see Davis and he both lose it into the corner, and then he's just stuck on Davis right there. Loses it. He's out of the game at that point, and then we'll jump to Ryan Smith here. Take a look at the 82 off the corner. As you can see, he's got Ortega right in front of him. As you take a look at this, you see the rate of closing speed there. Gets in the back of Ortega, then gets into Gagnon off of that. I think Ryan misjudged that a bit and then spins down and unfortunately collects Barrett there. So Your final Auburn finishing positions: 6th for McGill, 7th for Ryan Smith, so they both get an automatic transfer spot. Logan, unfortunately, last despite leading a lot of laps today. And then, sorry there, lost train of thought for a minute. And then Barrett Schluckabeer brings it home in 12th in that number 11 car. But that'll do it for these duels here at EchoPark. We'll see if we can get a word here from one of our Auburn drivers after that very chaotic duel number 2. As let's talk to Andrew here after that one, or let's see if Logan's around. Let's talk to Logan here. Hey Logan, it's Micah. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, so obviously not the way you would have wanted that to go. I know you led a lot of laps there at the start of that, then just kind of got caught up in what I called in the broadcast a unfortunate Kevin LePage-like incident. Did you expect any of that? Did you see any of that happening as it happened? Was there anything you thought you could have done?
Yeah, I mean, I saw two Auburn teammates lined up behind me, and I saw a gap to take the lead and try to regain control of the race after we lost control from getting a little broke up from that lap car there, and looked like it was going to be smooth sailing. Have three of us lined up at the front, and I guess some people don't have spotters. I don't know, but it's just a dual race. It's just an exhibition. We'll maybe I don't think I would do it any differently if I was in the race next week and I was in that same situation. But yeah, you live and you learn, I guess. But yeah, it's great to be back. I hate that it ended that way, but it doesn't really matter. We'll make the race next week and we'll be fine. We'll get it done next Monday.
All right, well, good luck, Logan. I know not the way you would have wanted to end tonight, but still looked quick out there. Good luck next week, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
And now we'll pull in Barrett Schluckabeer, who just completed his first dual race, as we'll pull Barrett on here. Hey, Barrett, it is Micah here on the broadcast. You got me?
Yes, I do, loud and clear.
Hey, so how was that for your first CIL experience? It looked like you got quite a lot of experience out there, bounced around a few times, and then a very eventful last lap, we'll say. Just overall, what'd you see out there? How'd it feel to be racing in this series for the first time?
It was a really good experience, and I think there's a lot to learn out of this. I think this is maybe only my third time on Road Atlanta, Echo Park. Sorry, not Road Atlanta, and it's certainly different. There's a lot to move forward with after this one, and hopefully we can do better coming into these point scoring races.
All right, well, I wish you luck in the season opener next week. Hopefully it goes a little bit better for you and then the team as a whole on the luck front. So, War Eagle Barrett, thanks for talking to me.
War Eagle, thank you.
And then finally, we'll pull in Andrew here to get a couple last thoughts as we round out this broadcast here. Hey, Andrew, it's Mike on the broadcast. You got me?
Hey, Micah, how's it going, man?
Going well. I was talking to Logan. I told him it looked like you guys were set up pretty well, and then sort of got Kevin LePaged, unfortunately, at the front there. But, I mean, the guy was racing for his lap back and did get it. Just what'd you see from the perspective where you were at in that line, and then obviously a couple incidents towards the end of that race as well? Just overall, do you think maybe a little bit of people getting readjusted to racing in packs for the first time this season? What'd you see out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of us were kind of shaking off some rust. A couple new guys out there too that were not used to racing around. I hate it for the 55 in the Kentucky car. I remember the driver's name. I think he's new this year. But after that first wreck, when I was tucked in behind both of the Kentucky guys, I'd planned to just kind of ride there in third until like 2 or 3 to go. But then I got into the 55 and pushed him up into three because I was getting shoved so hard into three too with like 15 laps left. So I don't know why we were doing that, but we'll put that one in the memory bank. Same car that chopped me on the last lap when I was going about 5 miles an hour faster than him entering one. So we'll put that in the memory bank for next week. And yeah, we'll look forward to having hopefully 5 Auburn cars out there for the real thing when the points count next week.
Yep. Well, if it does make you feel better, Landon Brown, that Kentucky driver, did bring it home second today behind his teammate,
nice.
so didn't seem to affect him too much. But yep, best of luck to all you guys next week. Looking forward to getting real points racing underway. War Eagle, Andrew.
Absolutely. Thanks. War Eagle.
All right, thank you to all of you who tuned in. As always, it's really nice to be back this season. Again, apologies for some of the technical hiccups tonight. Just new format and everything, getting everything ironed out. But thank you to every single one of you guys who tuned in. And I will see you all next week, hopefully, for the season opener. We got points paying racing next week. But for today, I've been Micah Farmer. This has been Auburn iRacing. Thank you to Crawford Willis Group Real Estate, Mob Inc., and the Roofing Dudes for everything they do for this team. And we'll see you guys in 7 more days for points racing to kick off the season.